Well, Subex is a telecom analytics product company, and we started working almost 2 decades back. We are among the first product companies out of India, and over a period of time we realized that the way data is growing, and at the same time way better algorithms, better compute is available, eventually AI and ML will start playing a significant role. We are among the earliest adopters of AI and ML techniques in our core business, which is Subex. And at a certain point in time, we realized that a number of things that we do at Subex are perhaps applicable across board in multiple industries. And that's how the spark, the idea to start CrunchMetrics was born. With CrunchMetrics, we have productized anomaly detection and in general the area of augmented analytics. The goal of CrunchMetrics is to go and address issues in industries as varying as fintech, e-commerce, retail, gaming, ad tech, etc. etc. Now again at Subex what we did was very niche, very focused products. So for example, fraud management system or revenue assurance system or partner management system. But with CrunchMetrics, the goal is very, very different. The goal is to look at industries where a huge amount of data gets collected each day, mutates each day, and try to help those businesses identify proverbial needle in the haystack by using advanced anomaly detection techniques. So at the heart of CrunchMetrics, there are essentially two large components, as you can imagine. One which deals with the engineering aspect of data analytics, and the other which deals with AI aspect of data analytics. Now, why do I draw this distinction? The practices are very, very different, although they work absolutely hand in hand. And for us, we take pride in being able to leverage, what might be available out there in open source, for example, but then to be able to innovate and scale it up to actually solve everyday business problems, right? So for instance, there are a number of anomaly detection algorithms which are already available in the open source world, which anybody can attempt to try and use it. But to put it to use and try and solve a business challenge, it requires significant amount of domain understanding, it requires significant amount of engineering skills, and then it requires significant amount of maturing and innovation around AI. How will for example, in anomaly detection, as you can imagine, false positives are a reality, right? And why do false positives happen? False positives happen in many cases due to planned events and activities around it. So for example, in e-retail, there is a large sale which is being planned, a big $1 billion sale or Amazon Prime sale, etc. etc. So you are clear that during that period of time, the volume of transactions will dramatically go up. Now, is that anomaly? Similarly, once the sale ends, suddenly the next few days the volume of transaction goes down. Is that anomaly? No, these are events which are planned, and taking off the shelf algorithms may not really help you take feedback from the events. Similarly, we all understand in machine learning and data science world, eventually a model which has been working very well in a test environment will start failing after some time because businesses change, the context of data changes. So can this algorithm self-learn by evaluating its own performance against what is happening in the data? So there are a number of things that we do to leverage AI ML and make it business context and business usable. Like I mentioned earlier, within CrunchMetrics, there are two large components in the practice, right? One is the engineering practice and other is the AI ML practice. Now, in terms of scaling, it's very important that we understand the kind of engineering that goes into building a business usable solution. If I'm talking about an industry like fintech, we are dealing with thousands of transactions happening on a per second basis, right? And to be able to monitor the key performance indicators on these transactions in near real time requires us to leverage in-stream processing capability, perhaps use technologies such as Spark streaming, etc. We do a whole lot of engineering heavy lifting, which we have learned over the years, by the way, when we were in Subex and we built products for the telco industry. And some of these engineering best practices are directly lifted and are applicable in any transaction analytics solution like CrunchMetrics. Secondly, any solution we built is, one of my learnings over the years has been it has to be business and domain contextual, which means that besides the engineering and the AIML practice, we do have significant domain understanding of any industry we go into, and that is the first step we do. Understand the business challenge, understand the domain challenge before we start even venturing out in applying CrunchMetrics to solve a business problem.